All right, everyone. So doing this one a little bit different today. Wanted to talk about the Zach Doelling shape from Powell Peralta. I've been skating it for over a month now. Just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the board. Today will probably be my final session on the deck. So yeah, I'll give you guys, I'm gonna skate, get some clips for just, final day skating the board, and then, cause it's pretty beat, I've been skating it pretty hard. And then, yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit and probably get into some of the clips over the past month or so. And yeah, we'll get into it. Today I'll be skating the another pair of Warsaws. I've been skating them for a little minute now, but they're the normal chapter, the like low one in the white color. It's like a white off-white. But yeah, I'll be skating those today. And yeah, let's get into this final session. And then maybe I'll take it apart at the end of the session, try to find someone that needs a board or something like that. Kind of bless them and pass it on. So let's get to it. All right, everyone. Sorry that I wasn't able to get very many clips, but there was an unbelievable amount of people at the skate park for some reason. And I didn't get there super late either, but there was just tons of little kids, everyone going different directions. I looked at one of the clips just now and I did like a nose grind, and then some dude was right behind me, like directly in front of the camera. So I just kind of gave up, but I'll talk about the board a little bit, and then I'll get into some of the clips over the last month and some change, and then I'll kind of give my final thoughts on the board. So this board, the Zach Doelling deck, is 8.3 by 31.61 with a 14-inch wheelbase. This board has been like, it's obviously a symmetrical deck, and I've been skating it as such like pretty much the entire time. I used it from everything from skating curbs to ledges to doing flip tricks, skating hips, rails, all that stuff. So I think I've got a pretty good feel of the deck. I also skated different types of trucks with this deck. The ones that I skated the longest that felt, I think, the best to me on this board were the Thunder Team Hollows. Because this has that shorter 14-inch wheelbase, I typically like a Venture truck or a Thunder truck with the shorter wheelbase. For some reason, it just kind of feels better to me. The Ventures paired with it really well. Flip tricks felt pretty good. Sometimes the pop felt a little slightly off with those particular trucks to me, but could have been a variety of things. Obviously there's a slight height difference. I was running the V-cast hollows with it. Felt really good, but I think just lowering my trucks just a tad with this board with the Thunder Team hollows just felt like the sweet spot to me. I probably could have just skated the Ventures, but I did want to try it with both. I didn't try it with like Aces or the T2s or anything like that. And I have been running, actually at the start of, I used to run 825 boards, yeah, with A5 trucks. When I set up this deck, I wanted to set up 825 trucks. Haven't skated 825 trucks in freaking forever. So yeah, it didn't feel too odd to me. I thought the pinch would, like, I would start missing like my pinches, like feebles and crooks, but that wasn't the case. Everything was fine. So yeah, the kicks on this board are, it was described by Zach Doelling, I think, in the video as kind of like in between tails and like two tails and two noses. To me, if I were to say because I've skated like obviously the girl in chocolate twin tip decks, and those are kind of like a hybrid shape where it's in between a nose and a tail. Those feel like a true hybrid, like an in between, just like a twin paddle. This to me, and I don't know if it's maybe the shape of them, the length of them, I don't know. They feel more like they lean towards the double tail side than probably right in between. And it might also just be because like how the K26 mold is, that could be, but it feels like both the kicks are on the shorter side. So that's kind of how it felt to me. And then I'll get into some of the things that I like, and then I'll get into some of the skating, and then I'll talk about probably the one thing that I didn't like about this board. So some of the things that I like was this board is very like flip trick friendly. It's very, you can kind of whip it around because it's shorter, it has a shorter wheelbase. Feels like it just whips around really nice. Kick flips flip really fast, kind of suck up to your feet. All my flip tricks kind of were feeling that way with this board. It felt just really pretty crisp. This is probably the board that I started doing frontside flips again. I hadn't done them in a little while. I started doing them again on this deck, and they came back really quick. I was doing them a lot more consistent on this board. Felt like they were kind of sucking up to my back foot and kind of smacking it a little bit better. This board was also like really good for like pinches and stuff like that, because I think of the shape of both sides of the board. They're not like a really full shape. They kind of, to me, when like looking down at it, I don't know why, it looks a little bit more on the pointy side, not like a Baker board or something like that, but a little bit more on the pointier side. So they just felt like they didn't have a lot of friction for like the pinches and stuff, and same thing for like nose slides and tail slides. Didn't feel like it was too much surface area sliding, so that was really good. The other thing that was really nice about this board is it feels, even though it's only a little bit shorter than the other like 825 flight decks that I've skated, it feels for some reason a decent amount lighter. And I did like kind of a comparison to see, because these are 825 trucks. I put 825 trucks, also the same ones, on one of my other just 825 flight decks, and it did in the hand, I didn't weigh it, but it just feels like light. It feels really easy to whip around. Flip tricks feel really good with it. Like I said, I like all the pinches and stuff like that. Obviously, because it's a flight deck, super strong. Didn't have any issues if I was landing really hard on something, like on a rail or even on a curb. Sometimes I'll throw out like kickflip front boards or something like that on curbs, and obviously this thing's not going to break. So I've been a huge fan of the K26 concave in all of the boards that I've skated so far. I've skated that Andy Anderson hydrant deck, and then a bunch of the 825 flight decks in the K26. Really like that concave. This feels pretty, I guess, I feel at home on this board. It didn't feel like it took like a lot to get used to. It's almost like, feels like anyone can step on this board and probably crank out some flip tricks and stuff like that. I couldn't foresee someone stepping up on this board and like their kick flips just being absolutely jacked or something like that. So really good board for flip tricks, especially if you're trying to get some flip tricks back or something like that. Really good. Those are probably all the things that I liked about the board in general. So I'll get into a little bit of skating, and then I'll talk about the one thing that I didn't like. So let's get to some of the skating over the past month, and then we'll get back to it.
Heel before the heel flip?
That wasn't horrible.
That was actually really good.
Do barrel heel? What kind of barrel? I don't know. 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 I don't know.
if you didn't tic-tac.
I'll run it back, you ready? Might as well try it, Peggy. I guess. Let's see if we can do this. Tee.
Oh my gosh! That was so good.
That was not bad.
I was literally about to say, I bet you if you tried the fakie tray, you would blast it.
I'll try the hard flip. I'll give it one.
Well, that went good. My gosh.
Let's see. Switch heel.
My gosh.
Let's do crook on the way and then we'll try front crook on the way back. The ledge wasn't grinding super good when I crooked it earlier, so I don't know how good the front crook is gonna go. Alright. See how this goes.
Oh, and he lands it.
Yeah, I had to kind of pop that out early. Tag on the end. Let's see. It's grinding actually pretty good. Let's try the crook back on 80 real quick. Oh god. Oh yeah! So the one thing that I didn't like was because obviously I said this leans more towards, it feels more towards like a twin tail. When I was skating curbs, if you plan on getting this board for skating curbs and you do like a lot of the nose slide, tail slide variations where you're doing all those combos like nose slide crook, all that stuff, I was able to do all of those things with this board, but there were like occasionally there's like a lot of tricks, a lot of slappies that like I do really consistent, especially like nose slide to crook, nose slide to 180 nose grind, all that stuff. I'm pretty consistent with those tricks. Sometimes it would just be like I couldn't get enough leverage to tilt this board over the curb because of how long both of the kicks are. So that was kind of the one downside for me, like skating curbs, it didn't feel it didn't feel like it was like helping me, I guess you'd say, with all of those curb tricks or anything like that. So didn't really affect me on ledges, but I didn't do any, while I was skating this deck, I didn't do any like no slide to crook on like ledges. So I don't know how that exactly felt. You know, that's the one thing that I didn't do on this board. But yeah, it just, for all those kind of tilt type tricks, that was the one thing that I didn't think it was the greatest for. So, you know, if you're a person that does all those types of tricks often, and you're thinking about getting this board, that's the one thing I'd say to give it some thought about, you know. And obviously that can change slightly, like how long the nose and tail or both sides of the board feel, depending on the trucks you have. Like if you have a truck like a Thunder or a Venture, I think Venture's, the base plate comes back even more, you know, that's something that's gonna shorten how much surface area you have and how much area like you can use to tilt the deck. Yeah, so it's just something that I would think about. I don't think it's like it wasn't a huge deal. It was just something that I'd notice here and there on tricks, and I'm like, I normally don't miss that or something. Like one of the tricks that was a little difficult to do, and it was in the clips that I showed you, was the like nose slide to 180 nose grind and then front big spin out. That felt like it was more difficult with this, and that's because that's a trick that I really like have to dig into, the 180 nose grind and stuff like that, and sometimes just wouldn't go up there, you know, just not get enough tiltability. So that's the one downside I'd say that's with this board. Would I skate this board again? Yeah, I 100% would. Really good board. I also tried, my son got sent by Powell. They sent both my son's boards. They sent my younger son an 8.06 deck, and my older son, they sent him an 813. I stepped on his 813, and so I got a 14-inch wheelbase as well. That board feels really good. The short wheelbase with the normal popsicle shape for the K26 feels crispy. It's like the green foil or whatever. Feels really good. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this deck. I think that Zach Doelling did a great job making his first shape. You know, sometimes people, you know, there's a little bit of a struggle there, kind of getting your shape dialed and stuff first release, but it seems like it's went over well. A lot of people like this deck a lot. I like it a lot. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see some more reviews of some stuff here soon. And like I said, keep using those discount codes that I have at Warsaw. That one helps me out a ton. The Warsaw one, if you guys get anything from Warsaw, use code RR15, RR15. And yeah, that code will give you 15% off your entire order. And then if you go to Etnies, Emerica, use East Coast Curb Killer, all one word, that'll give you 20% off your entire order. So yeah, there's a new Warsaw shoe coming out. So it looks like a cupsole model. It's like a Corey Duffel thing. So I want to try out that shoe. And yeah, I've got a bunch of videos. I'm really trying to stay on top of the YouTube videos. This is the most I've done in like a 2-week span in a while. So I'm really trying to stay on top of it. I really want to get a curb pour video done here soon. If I can get the materials this weekend, then I'll try to do that on Tuesday if I can. If not, it'll have to wait till the following week. But that's coming. Also, you know, the Ace content's still coming. I've got it scheduled with them, and it's gonna come soon. All the stuff for the full review of the Ace trucks and all the skating from it and all that good stuff. So yeah, drop a comment. Let me know if you've skated this board, if you want to skate this board, what you like, what you don't like, all those good things. And yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next. And I'll catch you guys soon. Later.